Right, good morning, Sam. Lovely to see you. You're looking great, as always.
Thanks, Deb. It's good to see you.
I'm just wanting to welcome Sam Horton from Fitness Dynamics this morning. We've met before, haven't we, Sam? I think we actually met originally at a car boot sale, didn't we?
Yes,
Of all things.
we did.
So that's a bit of a history there. Just first of all, before we go into the interview, I just want you to introduce yourself, say a little bit where you're from, where you're based, sorry, and what type of business you are and what you do, please.
Okay, Deb. I'm
Thank
Sam
you.
Horton, and I run a business called Fitness Dynamics. I'm in the South Lakes area, so when I'm out in the community, my classes usually are at sort of Milthorpe, Arnside, Kendal, Heversham, Silverdale, Yelland. I think that's all of them. I don't think I've forgotten any, but around that area anyway. But now we're online, so I'm all over the place. Fitness Dynamics is a fitness company offering fitness classes, Pilates classes, particularly interval training at a low impact level, so body conditioning, and I try and aim towards women, and I do have some men come to classes, quite a lot in Pilates, but women who perhaps are peri and middle and postmenopausal, because
Right.
me as well. And it's all fantastic training for that kind of area of women. So you'll get young women, I get older women, I get men as well, but that's probably my main area of customers going to classes.
Great. Well, actually, how did you get into this? What was your background before getting into the fitness world?
Well, I got into fitness at 22 and I'm now 51. So it's been
Amazing.
I've been in it a long time. Just before that, at school, it was art or dance or PE, So I thought I might be a PE teacher or a dance teacher or dancer or something like that. But I ended up going to art college and doing fashion and textile designs for a couple of years, and then silk painting in a business, and then changed over completely and did an HND in leisure management and an international Institute of Health and Fitness, or a Health and Fitness Instructor's Diploma. But it was 2 years of training, loads of hours. Nowadays it's lots of short courses, but I did lots of hours and did my certificate in education, because the staff at the college, at South Kent College in Kent, in Folkestone, were so amazing. I wanted to be like them. So I did. I went on and I became a lecturer in the college and worked there for about 10 years, teaching fitness classes as well and teaching the fitness courses. I even went on into the sort of admin side of assessing and internal verification and all that kind of thing for courses. And then I worked also part-time, half a post doing that, half a post being a sports development officer for Dover District Council. So working on inclusion in sport for disabled people, that kind of thing, setting up a seated bowls class, that is, club, and working on increasing fitness in the community, that kind of thing. Then I got pregnant at about 27 or 8 and decided I had to decide one or the other to go back to. So it was the fitness lecturing until I moved up here and started this business. So
that's when Fitness Dynamics was born, was it, when you moved up to this area?
It was, and that was in 2005, the very beginning of 2005. And I moved up, and within about a week or two, I started my classes in Levens, where I moved to at the time, actually. So, excuse me. So in Levens, I started fitness classes there, and I built up to maybe 5 or 6 classes a week, and then I fell pregnant. About 8 or 9 years between the boys, but I fell pregnant again. So I carried on while I was pregnant. I remember doing Salts of Fitness charity event, big tummy, and then had a few months off and got back to it again, and it's just sort of flourished and built up since then over the years. And I've just always taught the classes all around, and I've kind of done more training and courses to develop new things, and the Pilates has developed over the years.
I absolutely love Pilates. I really do. It really strengthens, doesn't it, the core of your body, and it's definitely something I need to get back into doing, if I'm honest.
Yeah, everybody should do it personally.
Absolutely. What do you think are the benefits of people doing Pilates with yourself?
Yeah, well, it's an amazing thing, because it can be taught and practiced at all levels, really. I mean, most people can join in a class, and the benefits that are just massive in the body. So and similar with other types of exercise as well. But with Pilates, you're working on your core strength. So you're automatically, the first thing we do is talk about posture and stand correctly and just find our bodies and feel how we feel, find the tension in the body and try and release it and get the posture good. So you become more aware. So the more often you do it, the more often you start having that little nagging voice on your shoulder telling you to have good posture. So not just telling yourself to have good posture, but actually exercising the muscles. So if we're at computers all day long like this, and this is all getting tight, and these muscles at the back are getting long and weaker, we try and address that by, opening the chest and strengthening the back muscles. And other parts of the body. We're addressing the position of the pelvis and getting all of that right. So the core is strong, so you're more bodily aware. You're more flexible, so you're not all tight in the shoulders and the hips and everything. You've got, what else? I had a little list here to remind me because I know I'd forget, even though I know these. Flexibility, posture, energy, just energy levels.
Yes.
There's been some studies done on Pilates to show that it actually creates weight loss as well. So they've done studies on women particularly and shown, even though it's not cardiovascular, it's just strengthening the body overall, you're getting stronger body. We do some exercises where you have to hold your body weight and like planks. Probably most people know about a plank where you hold on here or here on the floor, but you don't have to be in a full position on your feet. You could have your knees down, or you could be in a box position, knees underneath your hips. So it's much less hard work, but you're still, if it's hard for you, then that's enough, isn't it? And then you can progress and take your knees further back and then come onto your feet. And I'm looking whether I'm doing it in a class, and in the past coming round and adjusting people if they don't mind me doing that. Nowadays, I've not been back to live classes yet, they're live, but not in, face to face. So I'm looking into the screen like this.
Yeah. I mean, I was quite amazed when I went to Pilates how many older people were doing it. I mean, we're talking, there were 80-plus-year-olds.
Yeah, absolutely. The oldest person I've had in the class, and bless him, he has departed now, but he was well into his 90s, and he was fit to the end.
Fantastic.
He was going to all sorts of other classes, and ballroom dancing and yoga and everything. So that was, he said that is the key to a long life, is to do something every single day. And he has
I agree. I mean, you've only got to look at the Japanese culture, how fit they are, because they always, aren't they, always doing Tai Chi or lots of these types of things.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. It also relieves anxieties and stresses, and it gives you that usually an hour of just focus. You're just focused on your breath. It improves your breathing, which improves your health generally, and getting your breath down into your tummy, down into the ribs and around the sides, getting movement, breathing out, breathing in, and this moving in and out, and not just being stagnant and not just shallow breathing up here, which is where people who are quite anxious, they just breathe in the top of the chest and don't fully use their lungs. So it's giving you those kind of health benefits of reducing stress and anxieties, getting into your parasympathetic nervous system so that you're actually getting, without even realizing it, getting that kind of relaxed feeling, reducing blood pressure and heart rates and things. And some of the sort of melting type stretches that we use, and the areas that you can get into that actually help that, we do as well. So some of it's we don't hold very much. There's a few stretches at the end that will do that. Mostly you're kind of doing dynamic movements out and back in again, and stretching and coming back in and thinking about how it feels as well. So when you reach your arm up, how does it feel? Are you all tense? Are you leaning into it? Are you lifting your shoulder up around your ears?
So what would happen, like for somebody like myself? I've had a problem with my shoulder. I did the Joe Wicks thing in the lockdown, and I knew I'd done something. I knew I'd damaged it, and it seems to be getting worse. So would Pilates help me with strengthening?
I think it would, but I would always say to somebody, if you've not had any treatment from a professional like a physio or an osteopath or a massage therapist who's going to kind of help you personally get into that and find out what's wrong and try and release it or realign you or whatever, I would always suggest that. So if you've got a particular injury, go and see the professional that's going to help you with that, or maybe your GP first, But then if you're good to go, or if it's a minor niggle, then or an old injury that you've just tried everything and it's still there, then I would definitely suggest trying Pilates. And the thing is you move within the range of motion that is comfortable for you and doesn't hurt. If everything hurts, then I would definitely get that feedback from the GP that it's okay to go through that pain. So I've had people go through shop throws on shoulders with me, and it's got worse and worse and worse to the point where they couldn't come anymore. They may have gone and had the operation, they've come back. But the particular person I'm thinking of, she was amazing. She worked right through it. She came back as soon as she was allowed to safely. And she was in a lot of pain as well, but she got through it. And now that shoulder's better than the other one. So, and because she got to the point she couldn't do her own bra or anything. It was horrible. So I do think we always have to sort of go on the side of caution.
Yes, of course. But
yeah, I've had many minor injuries along the way throughout my career, and I've never really taken any time off or anything, unless I've really had to. So I've had times where I couldn't lift my arm properly. But I probably to an extent know what to do, and I've been and seen osteopaths and massage therapists and had help. But I think movement is the key.
Yes.
So unless you're advised to not move, mostly we're advised to move. If your back is sore, keep moving, but it's gentle.
I completely agree with that.
If we're doing any spinal rotation movements, whether it's sitting on the floor, people could sit on a chair or a block if they need to, or we're laying down and twisting the knees side to side or the body. I always say things like, so you rotate a little way to the corner of the room, say, and if that feels good, you might go a little bit further. And then if that feels good, you might go a little bit further. And if there's any pain, you don't go into the pain, you just do that first part, because we all need to be able to rotate. We're all going to reach and get things, but you work in the pain-free zone, so it's comfortable. And you might be laying on your back and your knees are going side to side, so you lift your buttocks. You might lift your lower back, you might lift your lower ribs, and only some people will lift the shoulder blade, twist all the way through the spine. So we kind of work through all those levels and make sure there's always an easier option, a harder option, or an alternative exercise if necessary. So my brain's usually going like that while trying to keep it calm.
So you mentioned that you do online sessions at this moment. Is that on Zoom?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So I have a website, and through the website, all the classes are there available to book. I always get people to do a health questionnaire first, and it gives you all the details on there how to do that. Online. And you click it and it sends it to me as an email. So that's the first thing. Then online, I've got Pilates classes, lift lean, body conditioning, trigger point Pilates. What else do I do? Oh, and Pilates and trigger point Pilates combined class as well, and a dynamic Pilates. So that's a bit more upbeat. It's a bit like an interval training class, but Pilates style. So it's a bit more free flowing than Pilates, but it's not impact. It's not.
And how long are they for? About an hour?
Yes, the Diamond Pilates and the body conditioning class are 45 minutes. Everything else is an hour, except on a Wednesday night, you can do a half-hour Pilates followed by half-hour trigger point Pilates, or both together as a full hour and 5 minutes.
And how much do they cost from?
The full price is £7.50 for a class, and then there's all sorts of options to reduce that. You could buy 5 classes and get a little discount, but use them over 3 months, so you haven't got to be there all the time. You can buy 10 classes and use them over 6 months. Hopefully it won't take 6 months, but people do. Sometimes they just want to pop in and out. And you can become a gold member, which is the best option, I think, because you get unlimited classes and the use of a video library with the videos on there, which I keep putting more on. And that's £40 a month. So for less than £10 a week on a longer month, you've got your, some people come into 6 classes a week. I see them nearly every day. And the classes are on 7 mornings and 3 evenings at the moment.
Wow, that's amazing. So when we can hopefully go back, will them classes be at the same times at the places where you do them, generally speaking?
Yes and no. So at the moment, the classes are pretty much the times they were. I used to do 2 in a row in a village hall. Now I just do 1 at a time, because some people come morning and evening. I've found, especially in lockdown times, and if it's raining or whatever, I'll do Pilates and interval training, today, which is lovely. Or they'll do a video. And so yes, I haven't quite decided, but I'm not going to go back to 10 or 11 or even 12 or 13 or 14 I've had in the past classes in community halls, because the feedback from people have been regularly coming online is that they really love it and they find it really convenient. They can come in from the garden and no one sees that they've put
Yeah.
makeup under their nails, you know, they haven't got to get ready and everything, and they can literally just do the class and then go and cook tea and get on with it, you know, whatever. Or they can just get up in the morning and almost in their pajamas just do it, you know. So that's been really good. So some people have said they'd be happy to see me once a week, so they've got the social side, and then see me 2 or 3 times a week online because it's so convenient. And I've really enjoyed it too, but I do miss everybody.
It's great, isn't it? I mean, yes, the physical side of things, but also from a point of view that people can do it in their own homes. They can, you know, you don't have to race to somewhere, do you? Park up, you know, it just takes the stress out of everything, really, doesn't it? All this online stuff.
It does. So we will go back to 4 or 5 classes in the community, I think, and there'll be probably an evening and, you know, 3 or 4 mornings or something like that, and they will be back in the similar places. So I'll be back at Heversham, I'll be back at Silverdale on Arnside, and I'll see. But this is, I was going to do September, then I was going to do October, then I was going to do November, then December. It's not worth it because everyone's busy, you know.
Yes.
And then we're looking at January, but I don't think it will be. I think it will be a little bit into the spring. So once we know where we're all at, you know, and the halls have kept the places open, which is great, you know, and some of them haven't even opened up yet, some of the halls. So I haven't felt like I needed to.
But at least you've adapted in this thing, which is great. You haven't, you know, you've thought, right, let's get out there and put them out there. Just before we obviously finish, what are your passions in life? What are your interests mainly? What do you love doing apart from all this gym? And crikey, I wish I was as gym bunny.
If my friends or family were here now, they'd be going, that is the interest. Fitness and the people that come to my business, my kids, my 2 boys who are growing up now, they're 14 and 23, and my family. Unfortunately, a lot of my family are right down in Kent, right back where I moved up from, so it's hard to keep in touch online, you know, and on the phone, but it's hard to get to see them at the moment. So my family walking, getting outside, the dogs, two dogs on some days and 1 on others. So taking the dogs out and I've been doing things recently during lockdown, which I've been wanting to do for years. I went to art college, so there's a bit of art back there somewhere, but I've not really used it. And I've been painting furniture, and I've been really enjoying that. But it's not very sociable. So I also like getting out to like the brewery art centre and going for a nice dancing night with some live music, you know.
Oh, brilliant.
Dancing is good.
You mentioned
for dancing, but you can't at the moment. So
you mentioned that you just before we came online, something that you've just done some training in and qualified in.
Yes, just this weekend actually, which is amazing. So a couple of years ago, I went on a 2-day course for fascia fitness, which was brilliant, but it was a CPD course, you know, continuing professional development, and it was for knowledge only, whereas this one was a qualification to become a fascia fitness trainer. And I'm just so thrilled that I did it. It was a bit of a last minute invite, so it was a real push in the last week or so to study, watch videos, read a book, answer questions on everything, and then do 16 hours at the weekend in New York time. So we finished at 10 p.m. But it's amazing. So I'm going to start. I'm going to do a trial kind of class for people in December, so check out the website for that when it happens, and then there'll be new classes every week starting in January. So it's fascia fitness, which is the fascia, connected tissue of the body.
Yes.
Very latest research on that, from the latest, you know, that there were people from all around the world in Hawaii, and started at 4 a.m. in America, and it was led by a German trainer, Danny, and it was just amazing. From Robert Schlept, I can say his name right, book about fascia fitness, and they're really linked closely to the fascia symposium and the network and all the kind of top levels kind of thing. So it's the newest information on how to train your Achilles tendon, for instance, to be more springy, and at the athletic end to be faster, to jump higher, to go faster, and have less injuries. But you know, at kind of everybody else's level, really, to be springier, to, you know, not just your Achilles, but the other tendons and the fascia in the body, to make you more springy, more gazelle-like, feel more like when you get up, walking and not feel sluggish. So that's one area. And then it's also got that tapping into the parasympathetic nervous system area of relaxing you, and on a sensory level, we're actually using the muscles and the fascia around the muscles and under the skin in a way that actually physically changes how you feel. You know, that's so good. And melting stretches to help you lengthen and be able to
that sounds brilliant. So
wonderful. Yeah.
Just before we go, so obviously we're coming to a close now. How do people get in touch with you? You know, have you got a website, email, Facebook page?
Yeah.
What's the best?
Yeah, so they can find the website, probably the most direct one, which is fitnessdynamics.co.uk. So all in one, fitnessdynamics with an S on the end, .co.uk. I can give you my mobile number, which you could write down if I say it. So it's 07886457563, 076457563. 78864575563. There we go. Anyway, so there's that, and then there's Facebook. You look up Sam Horton on Facebook, you'll find my private page locally. If you go to Sam's Fitness Dynamics, you'll find me. I want to have a free Facebook group, which I go live on a Thursday night with different class each week, just 20-30 minute session. So this week is going to be trigger point Pilates, focusing on neck and shoulder release and facial self kind of massage and release, which is really nice, and using balls like the things on the floor down here, rollers and balls. And all of the videos I've done over the last 7 weeks, I think, are all in there for people to do if they want to try out. So that's a good way of looking. And that's called Sam's Kitchen Studio.
Right. Oh, great. Well, I'll send you the links to those, please, Sam, and I'll share them. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you'd like to say before we close?
Just one thing, just to say that I will be starting a new course in the new year that I've run 3 times before, and it went online at the end when we had to, and it's Diamond Pilates for Pelvic Health, and it's an amazing course for men and women. Actually, I've had men and women on the course, but for pelvic health, pelvic pain, pelvic difficulties, problems with prolapse, all those sorts of things, stress incontinence, or somebody with a very tight pelvic floor, hyper kind of pelvic floor would be sent away, but we could discuss that and find out what the problems were. And obviously I refer people to a women's health or a male health physio for pelvic health problems if necessary, but it is about exercising and a whole body approach for the pelvic floor, using this fascia knowledge and my training in Diamond Pilates. So it's Pilates exercises and theory, sitting and exercising, especially for that. And that has, lots of people have been asking me, when are you doing it, when are you doing it, when are you doing it? So I wanted to just mention that that's coming, as well as the new fascia fitness training, and then there's the Pilates. There's,
fantastic.
So hopefully
you're a busy lady, Well, thank you ever so much, Sam, for coming on this morning, and hopefully, I'll check out your website as well and see if I can book onto one of your classes.
You're so welcome, absolutely.
Oh, thank you. You take care. It's lovely to see you.